Hi there, babies. Hi, cutie patooties. Hey. Hi. How you doing? Cutie? What's up? Well, this is a general message, so take what resonates and leave the rest. You know the drill. You know the dang old drill. All right? The first song that I got on shuffle here. Yes, my babies. This is interesting energy already. Fuck yeah. Is Passive by A Perfect Circle. Oh, it just started raining. How nice. Oh, I love that. How perfect. It's 7:33. Passive by A Perfect Circle. Dead as dead can be, the doctor tells me, but I just can't believe him. Ever the optimistic one, I'm sure of your ability to become my perfect enemy. Wake up and face me. Don't play dead, 'cause maybe someday I will walk away and say, you disappoint me. Maybe you're better off this way. Leaning over here, cold and catatonic, I catch a brief reflection. What you could and might have been. 144 on the clock there, baby. I catch a brief reflection of what you could and might have been. It's your right and your ability to become my perfect enemy. Yes. So what I'm getting here, so I've been feeling just overall energetically for everybody. We've jumped in a timeline where magic, these projections, sabotage, and just because we're in that karmic year, the year of the 8, all this stuff is, the scales. What am I, from Mississippi? The scales. Sorry, I'm just having fun. The scales have been balanced. So, are being balanced. So all this magic, projection, manipulation, narcissism, all that stuff, that's not working anymore. And if it is, it's very faint. But I'm definitely feeling like that shit doesn't touch us anymore. And it's because we jumped into a timeline. We raised in vibration enough to where that shit falls off. And we're aware of it now. We're aware that shit happens. We're aware of, what happens energetically because we're raising in vibration. We're becoming more intuitive. We're becoming more sensitive in our vessels and getting closer to our higher selves. So none of this shit is affecting us like it used to. And we're also learning that by not giving it power, it loses its power, because the light always wins. This dark, heavy, nasty, junky stuff can't win. It has to feed on something. It can't stand on its own. Unlike, the light, the high vibration stuff, that can stand on its own and it's always going to win. If it's aligned with Most High, the universe, pure source, it will always win because it can stand by itself. And with this passive song, I'm seeing the viewer, the person that was like a victim to manipulation, spell work, sabotage, all this stuff. They're now like, this is your song. This is like you saying, like, wake up and face me. Don't play dead, because maybe someday I'll walk away and say, you disappoint me. Maybe you're better off this way. Um, Wake up, why can't you and face me? Come on now, don't play dead, don't play dead. 'Cause maybe someday I'll walk away and say, you disappoint me, maybe you're better off this way. So I'm saying that as like, you became so aware of your power and fighting off this like magic, this nasty energy projection, just you were getting stuck in these like, you were allowing the projections, because like what they want you to do is be spiraling in your mind, be depressed, all of this stuff. You allowed that to happen, and then you realize, okay, I can get out of this. So, and then you realize the more you push through that, you get stronger and more abundance and blessings, the more you are able to spin that, push through, and not play the victim. And so I'm almost seeing it as like, dead as dead can be, the doctor tells me, but I just can't believe him. Ever the optimistic one, I'm sure of your ability to become my perfect enemy. So you're like, well, I thought we were gonna keep going at this. It may not be in like a you wanted to, but you were prepared. You were like, fuck it, like this is my, it's like the Spider-Man and the, I don't fucking know, the dude with all the legs. I'm not crazy big on, like, I watched the we'll say James Bond Inspector, because I know the name of that. Or the shit, now I'm blinking, the fucking like Captain America and Hydra, like Hail Hydra, like you thought, like, you're like, okay, this is my job, apparently. This is me. This is just part of my fucking life, is fighting off the villain. Fuck it. All right, here we go. This is my assignment. Great. Like, here I am. Okay. Like, you're like, I'm sure of your ability to become my perfect enemy. Like, we just gonna be doing this. This is the story. We're living in a fucking comic book, apparently. So this is just me. Fine. Whatever. And then you're like starting to realize, like, am I not getting hit with anything? Like, you just go silent. You're like scanning and you're like, huh. Interesting. And then it's like, dead as dead can be, my doctor tells me, but I just can't believe him. Ever the optimistic one. So that's like, you like, is this done? Like, and you still just wait, you're scanning and you're like, huh. And then you've noticed, like, around you, like, people are treating you differently. Just things have shifted, and you're like, do I not have a villain anymore? Do I not have to fight this anymore? And as weird as it is, because I'm getting like, wake up and face me, don't play dead, 'cause maybe someday I will walk away and say, you disappoint me, maybe you're better off this way. Oh, okay. So you were like wanting to like have like a final like obvious blowout, and it didn't happen. Like, whether you're aware of it or not, like spiritually you were like ready for it. And so now you're like, well, you had this plan, like, someday I'll walk away and say, you disappoint me, maybe you're better off this way. But like it just stopped. And you're like, what the hell? And you're like, wake up and face me, don't play dead. Like, what? What do you want? What is this? What's the point of this? What is happening? You're realizing the new timeline you jumped into, this new vibration you jumped into, that shit just ends. It's done. You know, still protect yourself energetically, but it's done. And, you know, I'm seeing this as like, you may not be conscious of this. This is like you spiritually, you're like what you've been doing behind the scenes, like in your sleep, or just like how, you know, your spirit team has been helping you and all that stuff. And you're like, really? Like, is this it? Like, is the villain gone? Like, what? Do I not have to fight crime anymore? What is this? What is this? I don't understand. It's this feeling of like, I'm getting like, especially because like I have a very loud job since I work in a welding shop. You know, the lights are loud even because, you know, we have those big industrial lights. Just everything is loud in there. So you go home and like your ears feel like weird if you're like sitting in silence and don't have like music driving home, or like go and sit in silence at home. That's like something's missing. It's weird. It's like you're so used to the 11:11 on the clock. You're so used to like that part of your life, like fighting it off, or like that stimulation, that, you know, something's missing. Even though it's good for you, you feel as though something is missing. And that's you just integrating and getting used to this new timeline. You know, you're out here being Superman. I don't know who Superman's villain is. Like, I'm sure there's plenty. I don't watch that shit, but not in a shitty way. I've seen like Iron Man. We'll go with James Bond. I like James Bond. You're fucking James Bond, and you're like, okay, I guess Spectre isn't real anymore. Like, okay, I guess we took care of it. They took care of themselves. I don't really know. I thought this was, you know, a thing. Okay. I guess I'm out of a job. What do I do now? And then the other song we got here is Blue by A Perfect Circle as well. I didn't want to know. I just didn't want to know. Best to keep things in the shallow end, 'cause I never quite learned how to swim. I just didn't want to know. Close my eyes to just look to you. Oh, what the fuck? Close my eyes just to look to you. Just to look at you. Jeez, I cannot. I'm sorry. Let me try on that again. Close my eyes just to look at you. Taken by this seamless vision, I close my eyes, I ignore the smoke. Ignore the smoke, ignore the smoke. Call an optometrist, she's turning blue, such a lovely color for you. Call an optometrist, she's turning blue, while I just sit and stare at you. Because I don't want to know. I didn't want to know. I just didn't want to know. Mistook the nods for an approval. Just ignore the smoke and smile. So this is kind of like what I'm getting is like how these people are experiencing this shift as well. You know, because there's karma that still needs to be repaid and stuff like that. So this is them in that energy of like, it's almost like this shame. Because, you know, since we are all raising in vibration, we're jumping on timelines, you know, they're doing the work. Whether they know it or not, they're being put in a space to do the work. So they're experiencing shame. Best to keep things in the shallow end because I never quite learned how to swim. So they're feeling like, you know, if you were in depression, anxiety, all this stuff that they were trying to put you in and make you feel, they're feeling that. And because they were projecting this stuff on you because they had no emotional maturity or strength or resilience like you do. And no shit talking, like this is just who they were. They were part of your growth. Like they're just part of the gig. Like the villain is part of, you know, the superhero. Like that's just what it is. We've got light and dark. There's a duality. It's just part of it. So they weren't able to process this stuff. So that's why they did all these awful things to you, because they wanted somewhere to put it. Because they couldn't, like I said, because I never quite learned to swim. They couldn't be in those emotions, you know. Water is emotions. So they couldn't be in that like you. So they just put it on you, dumped it on you. And it made them feel better to see somebody in a worse state than them. Or, you know, just to release that. And, you know, because they're hurt people and they just weren't doing the work. And now, close my eyes just to look at you, taken by this seamless vision. I close my eyes, ignore the smoke. Call an optometrist, she's turning blue. Such a lovely color for you. Call an optometrist, she's turning blue. While I sit and stare at you. So this is like, I'm kind of seeing this as like you, whether you know it or not, you're watching them energetically. Like you're just feeling it. Or like, you know, this like, since you were so used to that, the battle, the constant like stimulation of like having to fight off, you know, projections, bullying, magic, all this stuff. You like watch them energetically, whether you know it or not. You just to keep an eye on them to keep safe, because you're like, man, what the fuck they gonna throw at me next? So now you're watching them, you're like, and they are looking back at you with shame, and like, you know, they can't look at you with this, you know, they had to close their eyes to look at you. And with its call an optometrist, she's turning blue. I'm seeing that as like, you know, they didn't learn to swim, so now they're really, you know, drowning in these emotions. And it's while I sit and stare at you, that's you. You're sitting and watching this, whether you know it or not, because you're so used to like being tapped and hit by them, and you know the other bullshit that they gotta bring. You're just keep an eye on them. You know, just like, you know, your head on a swivel. It's not like you're seeking them out to like watch for their downfall or anything like that. It's just you are protecting yourself, whether you know it or not. It could just be your higher self looking out for you. Or, you know, like this happens in your sleep unconsciously, but now you're just, you know, observing this shift where they've backed off. They can't. This shit that they're trying to send, they don't have it anymore. They don't have that power. And if it was a power, quote unquote, I saw 17 and 17 on the clock. That to me, 17 always means like, for me anyway, like I'm taking responsibility for my life. I can take initiative. I can take initiative for my healing, because like 1 is new beginnings, and 7 is like healing and source and luck. So like you have that ability you're taking responsibility, and you have been this whole time. So like that's why you rose to such a higher vibration and were able to bring, you know, jump into this different timeline. And now they lost this, you know, the darkness, the enemy, this lower vibrational stuff has lost its strength because we're in such a higher vibration. And now they have to take responsibility for themselves. There's no other option. They can't dump it on anybody else, especially because these leaders that are holding vibration and raising in vibration for everyone to entrain everybody else up, you know, they were the targeted ones. So, and because you're in such a high vibration and you're doing that work and you're highly protected, anointed, because you're in your purpose by doing this, you can't be touched by this anymore, because it's just such a high vibration. And, you know, you've never experienced it, nor has this other person before. So they're like shook and having to deal with this, like, you know, it's almost like an ego death, because this has always worked before and now it's not working, and they're losing that power, and it's making them, you know, look within. And it might be like almost scary because they don't have the power they had before. You know, it would be like well, for some reason I'm getting all these superheroes, like Doctor Strange, when he got in his wreck and he couldn't use his hands anymore. Like he didn't have that physical power anymore. He couldn't do surgery anymore. So he was forced to go within. That's what's happening to them. They can't. And Doctor Strange was like helping people, but he was an arrogant prick. Like, so like this is like them like changing. They lost their power, and so they're sitting in this like really intense fear. Just they're being forced to look in the mirror and walk through the fire. They're being forced to, you know, there's no other option than up. And just because of the timelines we're jumping in. So all these karmics, everything, we're all raising in vibration. We're all doing this. They're just at a different level now. They're where you were a long fucking time ago when you were fighting for your life just to stay afloat, just to, you know, work through this stuff. And they're in a lot of fear and shame. Because I'm seeing the turning blue of like just that drowning, like they can't stay afloat. And because, you know, all this has to be rebalanced, whatever was sent to you, whatever was dumped onto you, that was their burden to hold and to carry and to work through. And, you know, like I'm seeing it's like, you know, boxes and boxes of paperwork that you have to meticulously go through. And because it would be like, oh, I might have to keep this for some record or something. Like, so they're having to, you know, they try to dump it on you as like it would be your job. And you're like, Most High is like, no. That's not their job. This is your paperwork to deal with. This is your fucking 20 pounds or 20 tons of paperwork coming back right on you. You have to sift through all of this. You have to go through this. Only you can do this job. Only you can heal yourself. They may not be in that knowing yet, but they're experiencing the loss of power. And that's kind of where it's like happening, like the ego death of like, I thought I was in control. I thought I was this, you know, I thought I was that, whatever. And they're losing that now. And, you know, you're in this energy of like, go ahead and play dead. I know that you can hear this. Go ahead and play dead. Why can't you turn and face me? Why can't you turn and face me? You fucking disappoint me. Like, you were like, is this over? Like, is this done? Like, you were still ready to keep fighting this fight, and you don't have to anymore. Yes, keep yourself protected, but you're in such a high vibration. This shit isn't happening anymore. This can't happen. And if someone tries to pop you again, it's going to be so minuscule, and it's going to pop their ass like immediately because of this higher vibration, where the higher vibration you get to, the quicker things manifest. So yes, you get popped quickly, but it's such a low dose because you're vibrating so high and you're so strong now. And that shit comes back immediately to them. There's no delay. Just as like, if you're in these lower vibration, like have these lower vibrational thoughts of fear and stuff, that's going to manifest that shit quicker. In these higher timelines that we're in. Also, you know, so anything that you positively think about, that's also going to manifest quicker. So that's, you know, a good reminder to stay on your game and watch your thoughts and be like, was that for me or no? Yeah, so you can keep a trucking intrusive weird thought about some fear. Fuck that. I rebuke that. And then, you know, come back with some positive thoughts and faith in them to like kind of rebalance some things. Because we have this, I'm going to go in the cards now. 7 of Wands, and it fell sideways. So that's like you in this energy of like, wait, do I still have to fight this off, or is this done? Like, yes, still keep your energy protected. Always do. Like you can never protect yourself enough. But like, you don't have to be ready and like brace up. Like, it's almost like you've been in a demolition derby this whole time, like wrecking cars. Like, you know, you're gonna wreck a car, like, because that's what the game is, you know. It's, in case you don't know what a demolition derby is, it's like where they get cars, like they weld them up and like tack them all up to where they, you know, the doors don't swing open or anything like that. They take all the glass out of them, put a roll cage in it, and then they wreck into each other, and like the final car that's able to like be running wins. And like, so like you get like points for like hits and stuff like that. I don't know like all of the ins and outs of it, but you know, you can't hit the driver's side door, that type of thing. But like, so you signing up for this, like, you know, you were in a demolition derby, you know that you were getting hit, like it was just your daily fucking thing. Like, that's what you're like, I know I'm getting tapped, so I'm just ready. So now you don't have to be in such a like, I'm seeing it as like living in war times, like World War II, where everyone was just like, all right, well, when's the next bomb dropping? When's the next attack coming? When is the next you know, intrusive person knocking on my door to arrest me and put me in a camp, whatever. There was just that constant waiting and adrenaline and survival feeling. Like, that doesn't have to be anymore. Yes, you keep yourself protected, you meditate, you do all this stuff, but you don't have to be in that, like, ready to, like, pounce at any moment. You don't have to sleep with your rifle in your hands anymore. And that this is you, like, all of us jumping into this new timeline. And since we do have the Eight of Cups and the Empress in reverse, I'm seeing this as, you know, these people are now having to face, like, they're having to jump into their shadow. Because see how it's like a dark hole for this Fool card? They're having, by them fucking around and finding out, like, trying to attack you or whatever, this put them in, you know, they didn't realize that they were going to have to face this. They didn't realize that they were, you know, Most High was going to put them in a situation where they were jumping into the unknown, whether they knew it or not. They thought this magic, they thought their control, their power, that they had control and they knew what the outcome was going to be. But this forced them into to realize, like, they had no control the whole time. And now they're having to face, you know, the backlash and who they are and what they've thought to be real this whole time, that they were in control, which they're not. And this is something that they can't walk away from. And I'm seeing, you know, with that blue song, like, you know, I close my eyes to look at you, just to look at you. They're having to face, like, how, you know, them looking in the mirror, like this Empress in reverse is like, how shitty I've been, how I've had to, you know, they're like dealing with like mother wounds, they're dealing with their parental wounds, they're having to look at themselves because all of this, they can't project any of this anymore. And having to sit in this darkness, jump into that dark hole and, you know, crawl their way out of it like we've all had to do. And, you know, all this, especially because they were in this like arrogant, energy that it, you know, working for the enemy, doing all this control, manipulation, all this extra heavy duty stuff. It's extra hard for them because they never had the emotional resilience, and that's why they worked from this. They never had that strength. They never had that internal knowing that it's like hard to, I'm like feeling it, but I can't word it. Maybe looking at the cards will help me to like put it into words. It's like they had false confidence, I guess the best way to put that. Like, they're being forced to realize they were living under an illusion. They were delusional. They were under, like false pretenses. It's, you know, I'm hearing like the devil is a lie. Like they were, you know, under all of this, like, I didn't have control. This magic they were arrogant to think that like it wouldn't backfire on them because they got away with it for so long. And, you know, whether it's magic, their behavior, all of that stuff, they got away with it for so long. And they became delusional and arrogant that it wouldn't come back to them. And that, you know, they had been lied to by the enemy, by the dark side, by that this is the way of living. You know, they're having to face all of this shit and like stew in this darkness, and they have nowhere else to put it other than dealing with their stuff. They're having to pay their debts, just as we all have, and we're still doing. But with this higher vibration, everyone is held accountable. And we have the King of Cups. So this is like, whether they know it or not, and they may come to realize this, is like you had mastery of these emotions. See how he's kind of like in a little bit of a turbulency, like, but he's out there comfortable. Like he's got his cards in his hand. He knows how to play the game. You've mastered that. And, you know, they'll come to realize that you were resilient and strong far beyond what they knew. And this might be happening already, but you know, you're going to get your kudos, whether it's said to you or not. Energetically, they're experiencing that you are that strong of a person. You have mastery of, you know, sitting in that dark, yucky stuff and crawling your way out of it. You're a badass, and you've had this ability this whole time. And that's why none of their shit ever worked. And, you know, they might be looking to you and watching you now to see how you did all of this, how you came out of this. If they're still trying not to work for the enemy. Like, some still might be some low-hanging fruit for a minute, little scragglers, but that shit's gone. It can't affect you anymore. It can't affect us anymore. It can't affect me anymore. I'm just saying that. We have the Knight of Wands, and because now, whether this video or your sudden awareness of like, oh, I'm not getting popped anymore. This is great. Like, I guess my villain's gone. Like, I guess we're over this like epic battle, like constant like banter, you know, to and fro. Since we're over this, like I can trot off into some new adventures. I can trot off into some, like, it's exciting. You know, you're like, okay, so I have freedom to like pursue all this creative shit because I'm not getting popped. You know, if they are trying to hit me with sabotage, magic, all this stuff, that's not affecting me anymore. It's just not even a thing anymore. So now I can freely, without, you know, fear, you know, because that was the projections they were putting on you, is like fear of like going into all of this. You're like over that. So now you have this like freedom, this lightness, this new energy, excitement to you, that you can just go do whatever you want, go wherever you want. It's like the world is wide open, and because you're more on that higher vibration, and you're like becoming to understand like your strength, your abilities, you know, this new timeline we're in, it's all like integrating, and you're like, oh shit, I can run with this now. And I don't have to keep looking over my shoulder. Yes, keep protecting yourself, but I don't have to be on like that sleeping with my rifle ready to, you know, in my fatigues. Like, I don't have to do that anymore. Yes, a fiery climax approaches. So whether you know, this is over with yet, or it's about to, and I'm seeing this as like, it's all just gonna get rebalanced. Like, you may start seeing these people, like, whether you knew they were trying to sabotage you or not, you're gonna get the little wink from your guides that they've been playing with you, because I'm getting like they won't be able to look you in the eyes, or they'll have this like suddenly like kissing your ass, trying to like be in your energy type thing. Like, you're gonna notice people's energy shifting and like behavior shifting, and that's gonna give you like oh, it was this person, okay. Or you're gonna see them like physically just catch their karma, and you're like, wow, Jesus, I mean, I didn't ask for this, but okay, for some reason I needed to see this. And I'm getting more though with this card, with the fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. This is like you being able to follow your pursuits with this Knight of Wands. Like, you know, you're gonna meet somebody, or you're gonna get this like new adventure, or, you know, this thing that you've been manifesting for so long, it's gonna come, and, or, you know, you're gonna get the little hints that this is where you need to start going and moving towards, and it's safe to do that now. And a romantic cycle begins with this Libra new moon. So that could be like you get to start talking to your person who that you're meant to be with, or, you know, one of your soulmates or something like that. You get to work with these people, or you get to meet your new community and start like collaborating with them. I guess I feel called to share this because I've been having like a lot of like fear around well, just residual stuff, because like of the crazy shit, you know, we've all been through, like, and, you know, just fighting constantly. And, you know, now it's kind of like we're past that, but it's like we have to work through all that. Like, it's like trauma, you know, PTSD, you know, just from all of that stuff. So I got a red candle because like that's our root chakra. And then I wrote on, you know, I am safe. And then the things that you know, I'm trying to bring in, like It is safe for me to make money. It is, and keep it. It is safe for me to, because I had like magic being put on me against like my money, weird stuff like that from my partner, or just like people trying to like just make it hard for me, like whatever they would do. Also, then I wrote, it is safe for me to open my heart to healthy love. So the reason I did that is so I read that every time I light that candle and I like feel it. And, I meditate on the color and I like imagine my root chakra like glowing red and like any sort of blockages coming off of it. And like, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. It is safe for me to experience life again without that bullshit, the bullshit we've been working through, we've been dealing with. So that might be something you do. I don't usually do like candles or anything like that, but since it was like a red color and it makes me read that every time that I light that candle, and I get very intentional about it. And then, as I'm reading, sitting here doing these readings, like it's here with me also. So I'm like, I see it and I'm like, yes, okay. I need to remember that. Okay, so we have your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus, but this came in reverse. I'm seeing this as like, yes, you do need to take practical steps towards your manifestations, but I think the bigger thing is like healing your internal stuff and like the fears. It's more of that versus the physical realm stuff. Like, yes, you do have to call people to collaborate. You do have to go out of your house to meet somebody that might be your next romantic partner, whatever. You have to do that. Put yourself out there in that way. But it's more of healing the fear, and because everything starts on the energetic level, the frequency level, and then you step into the physical stuff. Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. So yeah, going into meditating, working through like asking Most High, your spirit team, universe, whatever, to show you where you need to heal. What do I need to heal? What wounding do I need to do? So like what's been helping me lately is doing that, really focusing on your breath and like counting them. And then if a thought comes in and it like I start spiraling and I like get I'm not being I lose the attention off of my breath. I'm like, okay, thank you, thought, like, and then whatever it was, I feel it, I work through it, and then I'm like, okay, that we're done with that, we're releasing that, and I see it like leaving me, like driving past my head, like it paused, it's at the stoplight, hey, how's it going, hey, thought, whatever. And well, with that meditation, that's helped me come to like what fears I have and stuff like that around like love and money and stuff like that, just because of like all the crazy shit we've all been through. And then we, at the bottom of the deck, we have you are good enough, full moon in Virgo. So that's definitely like self-worth stuff, working on that self-worth. You do, interesting, and we have new moon in Virgo underneath that, a time to give rather than take. So whenever the moon in Virgo is, maybe that will be significant to you, to like, because that's like health and taking care of yourself, service, that type of thing. So work on that shit. Do a fast. I've been fasting for the past couple days, just black coffee and water, and it's helping me significantly get clearer on things. Obviously, do what's best for your body, because if you haven't fasted before, it is very difficult to like get into that. So like, eating a lot of fat can like help you get into that, but I am not a healthcare, giver, whatever the fuck you want to say. So, do your own research, but the fasting has helped me get more clear and like understand where I need some more healing to do. But you are good enough, so definitely work on that self-worth shit. Like, you do deserve, all your manifestations, all of this stuff. You deserve to be in peace and not fighting all the time, fighting off all this sabotage, manipulation, gossiping, all this crazy shit. It's like, don't pull yourself back into that old timeline. Just accept that this is a new timeline. This is the new. This is the new reality. And you don't have to worry anymore. Okay, babies, I think that's the end of the message. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day and keep being strong babies. Love you. Bye.